They pay men to hunt and shoot birds. The fever has the city people spooked. They blame it on the birds. Stupid, stupid. It's a shame is what it is. Nothing to do but count to the last one. Ruby hasn't seen a moonbird in over a year, and squeakies are just a flicker of what they used to be. Baby girl Lila tugs at Ruby's nipple and puts her hand on her breast. Lord God says the world is Lila's to inherit and see through to the end. Ruby wants her to grow up in a world of birds and the beauty of spotted feathers. She worries that the last of the birds will be gone before Lila has a chance to recognize they're leaving. Things don't stay around forever. People don't either, like her mother. She's been gone for 2 weeks, and Ruby can't take life without her. Life in this house, with its mouse scratchings and bacon grease and Book of Mormon on the table. The sense of Lord God breathing down your neck. Ruby's eyes well with tears as Lila's hand rests against the pale skin of her breast. The baby girl's eyelids blink as if in slow motion, her arms creased with fat wrinkles at the wrist, fingers splayed like the rays of a starfish. Across the kitchen table, Lord God is going on about how he needs to trim the toenails of his one good foot, and the danger of the bears, how in droughts like this they come down from the mountains, how you have to be careful. They could be out there, lurking behind the woodshed. They can smell bacon 5 miles away, he says, his voice raspy as that of a biblical prophet. Ruby turns her face to her pancakes. She doesn't want to hear such nonsense. She doesn't feel right herself this morning. Her nose has been running, and her cheeks feel hot and flushed. She fears the fever, but doesn't dare say a word. She'll pretend Lord God doesn't exist if for 1 second he'll just shut up. He holds out a plate of bacon and eggs, urges her to eat. He has cooked their breakfast, and the least she can do is enjoy it. She needs to put some meat on her bones, she does, and he has blessed the food, especially for her. She lifts her face and tells him Lila is almost finished feeding. She'll eat in a minute. She speaks in barely a whisper, stares out the window at the parched fields of prairie and high desert, the Sierra Mojada in the west turning pink with the sunrise. Above it, a wall of dark-curdled clouds. Opposite the mountains comes the day's light casting its long morning shadows onto rabbit bush, sage, and bunchgrass. Behind the shed, the crooked wooden fence posts leaned this way and that like tombstones on a wind-bitten hillside. Lord God's land is miles outside Pueblo, off Red Creek Road West, the edge of nowhere, its face to the hills and back to the town, true to his isolation scenario mindset. The fence is a last stand before the coyote howls of emptiness beyond. Wind gusts make the power lines hiss and whistle. In the west, the sky above the mountains looms russet and solid, an ash cloud of trouble coming, like wet walls of the Red Sea parted and waiting for that moment to swallow up the world once again. The weather people don't know what to make of it. Snow and dust storms at once, a thing both strange and ordinary now as a sky without birds. Lila falls asleep with a nipple in her mouth. Ruby does her best to tune out Lord God. She strokes her baby's cheek for a moment, heartbroken at what's in her own mind, the anguish she faces. She eases Lila into the wicker bassinet between the kitchen table and the wood stove. Before the stove, she squats to open its black cast-iron door, adds a couple split pieces of aspen from the cardboard kindling box. A wisp of smoke belches out, the gusty wind backing it down the stovepipe chimney. The heat makes her face flush, a smoky tang sharp in her nose. "That's enough," says Lord God. "Until this wind dies down, it's a bother. Another gust in this house will be smoky as hell." Ruby stands and refuses to look in Lord God's direction. She rinses plates and cups at the kitchen sink. Outside the window, a pair of grief birds perch on the fence rail. These are bigger than crows, lonely, speaking in tongues of portent. The closest grief to the house